You're now rocking with the best.
Who's the boxing show that's knocking out the competition? The kick-ass podcast that make you want to listen. The place where boxing fans and fighters rejoice. Thumbs up for Richie, you're listening to the fighter's voice. It's the brightest choice. If you want all the insights on all the big fights right before the big night. Backstage news, exclusive interviews, and predictions on the fights who will win or lose. No other show comes close, and you know it's true. Every fighter got a voice, and so do you. Now you're tuned into TFV. It's the fighter's voice with Richard Ortiz. Let's go.
There's a lot of changes, guys.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast. We got a great show for you this evening. You know, I'm very excited because I've been anticipating this show and having both Richard Torrez and Richard Torrez Jr. on the show at the same time, going live. With the link will be out on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and enjoy the show. And you know what? We went back and forth. When I say we, just myself and my team, with our team rather, about Richard Torrez Jr. I mean, I'll describe him as a present underneath the tree. And, you know, sometimes we know exactly what that present is, but we can't open it until Christmas. Being that said is we wanted to make it official, get the news since day one on the news that we've been waiting for, putting in all the hard work. And as you know, the dedication and, you know, made good of the opportunity. And, you know, I'm very excited about this show. And, you know, enough said. You know, I'm going to hand the microphone to his father because I'm going to allow his father, Richard Torrez Sr., to introduce Richard Torrez Jr. with the new title that he has representing the United States of America. So I'm going to give you the honors, Richard Sr., to officially announce it live here on the Fighter's Voice.
Well, I appreciate that, Rich. You know, it is an honor and a privilege to be able to say that, you know, you have someone in the household and somebody from your family that will be representing the United States on the biggest stage. The Olympic coach, current Olympic coach, Billy Walsh, he told me a while back, he says, hey, how does it feel to train an Olympian? So, you know, with that being said, I'd like to introduce you to Richard Torrez, the 2021 United States Olympic super heavyweight contender. He'll be going there and fight in Japan coming up. They leave for on July 1st to Japan, and he'll be competing, I believe, on 24th of July will be the first competition starts. But there he is again, Richard Torrez, a USA Olympian.
Welcome to the show, Rich. How does that sound, my man?
Oh man, it sounds sweeter every time, you know. It's something I've been dreaming of hearing, and to finally hear that, it's amazing.
You know, I wanted to do it. I was thinking about how am I going to do it? I'm going to do it with so much energy and so much, you know, it wasn't to the last minute when I was looking at your father, and I can see that he's multitasking because he's on the job on the job as well. But I said, you know what, I'm going to give your father the privilege and the honor to do that because he's been waiting just as long as you have, my man.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's a team effort, you know.
Hell, I've been waiting longer, Rich. I tried out in '84, didn't make it, but you know, my name got in there one way or the other, huh?
That's right. I mean, they were ready to call that name. They just waited a very long time. So it did happen. And plus, you know, it's always good to have that guardian angel up above watching over and moving the pieces around accordingly. So you know exactly what I'm talking about when I do mention that the founder of the gym in Tulare.
Exactly. Been around for a long time. A lot of people had come through there, and you know, and that spirit you're talking about is my pops, my dad, his grandpa. You know, started the club in 1945 and has been an instrument in this boxing in Central California for many years. He passed in 2000 and had to take it over, but he's there. You can feel the presence all the time when you walk in that gym. Bags start swinging. You know, things just start happening. Like, whoa, there's somebody else here.
That's right. Rich, I got to ask you this, Rich. What was it like to know when you finally got that phone call? Because I know you would say, hey, you know, things are looking good, or hey, we got to win this tournament, or we really got to make a good appearance here. When you officially got that phone call, Junior, what was going through your mind? How did you feel? And
So
talk to us about the phone call.
yeah, I mean, honestly, the whole process to even being able to get this was a little unusual. I got a call when the Olympics were when the Olympic qualifiers were canceled. I got a call from Coach Billy, and he said we can't say 100% certain, but congratulations, you're on the Olympic team. And now this was about a month ago, and going through my head, I was like, there were two things like, man, this is amazing. I can't believe this happened. But also, he said we can't say it for certain yet. So like it was a real mixed confusion going into this, honestly. And I've had to live with that for about a month now. It was like you can say it's 99.9%, but you can't say it fully. So I can call my dad and I can say, "Hey, pops, we're there." He goes, "It's official." I was like, 99.9%. I was like, so living with that limbo was a little hard. But yesterday we got that call, and he said the letter came in. You were an official, an Olympian, and man, just it was like a wave of relief, a wave of gratitude. And then you start thinking about the things like I went to the Olympic Museum recently, like this year in Colorado Springs, and I got a visitor pass. And then my Coach Billy Walsh, who went to the Olympics, he got an athlete pass. And one of the things that went through my mind is like, man, I'm gonna get an athlete pass this time. There's things that are changing, and
Yes.
it's amazing.
I mean, you represent the most prestige position in the Olympics when it comes to boxing, the heavyweight division. Um, all eyes are going to be on you. How does that how it make you feel? Not to add pressure, but you already know what's going on. All eyes are going to be on you.
I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. I feel confident. I feel comfortable. I'm ready to do my thing. I'm ready to show people what I got. I'm ready to show people what my town has, what California has, what the Central Valley has, and it's the time. It's always been leading up. This is goals leading up to what we're doing. Don't worry about this tournament. Don't worry about that tournament. It's all just getting ready for this time, and now it's time, and I'm ready for that. I really am pushing forward. I'm training as hard as I can, and I'm ready for what comes next.
How's the conversation like with mom? I mean, because dad is dad, but there's nothing like that receiving that hug from mom and just sharing that warmth, that nurture and sharing it with your family. What was that experience like?
My mom gave me a big woohoo. She came up and hugged me, and it was great. And then she sat down and she said, "I gotta tell you something." I said, "What's that?" She goes, "I had a vision about 2 months ago that you were going. I had like a dream that you were going." She goes, "And so I knew all along." She goes, "I'm not even really surprised." She's like, I knew it 100%. She goes, "But now I can finally tell you that too." She goes, "So congratulations again, but I knew it." And so hearing that reassurance from my mom, it was also really well. I love her.
Have you had a chance to really take it in and let your friends know before you leave? Those that are close to you growing up. It can be anybody, your doctor, your dentist, the guy that cuts your hair, anybody.
Oh, everybody's coming out. I mean, the most people sharing the most information is my dad and my mom. They're calling out everybody, and I really appreciate that. Uh, my friends kind of they didn't say like a congrats or anything. They're like, "Oh, I thought you were already going." It was kind of like been on
There you go.
on the track the entire time. They're like, "Oh,
Hey,
well,"
those are real friends because they're going to be honest with you, Rich. They're like, okay, I thought you were already there.
yeah, they're like, "Well, what do you mean?" I'm like, "Ah, yeah, all right, whatever, guys." And then we'll go out to eat or something like that. But that's also good, with
Yeah.
everyone around me going crazy for me. It's nice to be like for some of my guys to be like, "Well, yeah, whatever," but I got a new car, so it's like it's fun. It's too, it just kind of humbled me a little bit.
Rich, that next day, Richard, that next day when you went to work, I mean, there had to just be a pep in your step. Even when you were parking your car in the parking lot, getting ready to go to work. What was that feeling like, Richard?
When that happens, I mean, you're right. It's always at the back of your mind when it's funny because when we first kind of found out he was in the running and 99% sure, uh, uh, hey, I give him a call and say, "Hey, Rich, you're going to the Olympics, man." But it wasn't 100%. But so that whole thing is the same thing when you pull in the parking lot and stuff and you stop and you put the car in park and you're like, damn, my boy's going to the Olympics, man. And you just keep on walking and life goes on and all of a sudden you stop again. It's like the Olympics, man. So, people coming up to me and it was announced through my school and things like that. And people, "Hey, congratulations," and giving us all the props that we deserve and he deserves. But it's just one of those things where there's certain people that, "Oh, that's cute," and there's certain people that say, "Oh my God, Someone who's been in the heat of the fire of a competition will say, "Oh my God." Other people who don't understand the sport, don't understand what it takes. Well, yeah, are you pro yet? And say, well, that's not the way.
Yeah.
This is something very elite. That,
Yes.
8 billion people in the world, and only 11,000 get to go to the Olympics every 4 years. And I don't know the math and stuff. Is a very, very minute number of people that get to go, and it's hard to kind of get that idea across to other people. And so you just give them what they get, give them what you can, and take what they give. And sometimes not the best, but most of the time they're appreciative, and they're joy for you too.
You know what I'll say to both of you gentlemen, you stuck with it through thick and thin. I mean, we had some other around the area, some Olympic hopefuls or people that I know that were putting their name in a hat when it came to competing, and that long stretch, those odds are stacked against you. But you were convinced, I'm going to stick this through. It's easy to get the calls, or what have you, to go turn pro. The offers look good. The money looks good. The signing bonus. But you were stuck on your dream, wanting to represent Team USA in the Olympics. And so it's like a double whammy for you guys, because not one time did you bail out and say, okay, we're going to call it a day. You stuck with it, and it paid off for you guys.
And there's the truth, because many times you see, as well as I do, Rich, it's very easy to turn pro. Now, to turn pro with a good contract is a little different. You got to have, some pedigree behind it and stuff. But to turn pro, people say, hey, are you pro or not? I can take you and get you 5 fights, and I can turn you pro. You'll be a tomato can for somebody, but that's just the way it goes. It's not the pedigree you need to have like college sports. So people don't understand. To get to the Olympics, I mean, that's the very few, world champions. You ask them, what would you want to do? Manny Pacquiao was thinking about going back to the Olympics. All these guys, because that's something that you can put a feather in your hat that not anybody can do. It's a very elite, and the people who turn pro, for whatever reason, their personal decisions and stuff. Some may face roadblocks, some face adversary, and some needed the money, whatever it may be and stuff. But man, I tell you what, sticking to that goal, man, I'm impressed with my son for doing that and keeping it to true to his heart, where he was going to make his dream come true.
Rich, was there ever anything in your mind thinking, man, I'm sure I can get that contract? I mean, the heavyweight division, it's so stacked now, and the numbers could be good. Or were you always stuck on, you know what, I'm going to let it run its course. I'm going to represent Team USA officially.
I remember back when I was 8, and this is a story I always tell. I remember back when I was 8, I was running on the playground saying, I'm going to be Olympic champion one day. I didn't say I was going to be WBC world champion. I didn't say I was going to be WBA. I said I was going to be Olympic champion. That was my dream. This is my dream. This has been my goal since day one, and I'm following through with that. I mean, the pro game, that's something big that's next in my journey, but this has been my dream. This has been what I wanted all the marbles in the bag for. And to be able to say that I've accomplished something that I've wanted since I was 4, is really something that I'm happy about.
Hey, Rich, or geez, hey, I gotta let you know, man. I gotta let something and let my boy know this too. Damn, I'm sure glad it worked out, because I rode that boy like a horse, man. I rode that boy like a horse, and you can, no, you can't go here. No, you can't do this. No, we got to do this. No, we got to bite. We got to do, and I kind of guided him, and I says, man, I hope this works out, and it did.
Hey, praise God, amen to that. Like I said, it's always good to have those connections upstairs in heaven. And when we have a personal guardian angel watching over us, he makes sure that it's put in our heart to make the right decisions. And I'm glad you were very responsive and very respectful to your father in believing in his vision, and also sticking to your dream, Rich.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it wasn't always easy. People say
I can imagine that dinner, those dinner tables. It turned into coaching. It turned into, hey, this is what we got to do. Plenty of times, I've been on that side of it. So that's human nature, and that's your dad looking out for your best interest, 100%. 100%. So, tell me exactly, man. I mean, what was the toughest part? Saying, okay, Dad, I got this. I already know. Or did you okay, Dad? You just had to reconvince yourself again?
I'd say the toughest part, it would be when I'd have a tough day at practice, and there was a couple of times, and I I had football, basketball, track. I did AP classes. There were a bunch of other paths that my dad actually pushed me down towards, and he wanted me to see where I was going. But always boxing was there too. And a couple of times I'd be like 15, 16, and I'd be like, you know what, maybe I just want to play football instead. My dad would sit there, he'd be like, you're boxing until you're at least 16, then you could choose. He goes, but until then, you're boxing. And man, doing doing all that in high school was really tough. I said that was one of the toughest times of my life, is because I again AP classes, then I had my after school sport. From my after school sport, I'd run to boxing. After I'd run to boxing, then I'd have just study and repeat, and it was grueling, you know. But I honestly wouldn't change it for a world, man. Like, I mean, it's never easy going home with a coach, but I wouldn't want to go home with any other coach, you know. So it really worked out.
Man, you know what? I'm proud of you and your whole family. And that whole story, it really needs to be told. I mean, it can help other athletes. It can help those athletes that are like, man, I wish I would have listened to my dad. I ended up going to football, or I ended up turning pro, or I just stopped altogether. But you stuck with it, man. Well, one thing I will say is this. I talked to a promoter the other day, and he said he's one of my favorite fighters. He goes, but one thing that sticks out in me, and he's talking to me, and he said, is that family, how close they are and how smart they are as far as guiding you with your decisions. So when you hear something like that, and that's coming from someone from the outside, you're inside, you already know what's going on. But when you hear that from the outside, how does that make you feel? Is that like even more appreciative of what you have and the guidance that you have?
I think it validates my thoughts. You know, my dad actually had to tell me a while ago to stop asking for all this advice and start making some decisions on my own. That's how steadfast his word is to me. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes if I had anything I needed to worry about, I'd ask my dad, and what he said I would go with. You know, and so like his state was law, and that was because he was my coach, he was my dad, and I thought that was the only thing that could happen. And I I mean, I'm still like that. You know, if I ever get to a really tough spot, my dad's word is kind of law. And I really, I'm appreciative that other people see that too. That other people can see that like what we have is kind of working, what we have is going. You know, like there's a check and balance system. You know, my dad has my mom, my sister, and me, and together we really are like a powerful force. You know.
Well, I'm looking at that wall right there, man, and that wall looks like a powerful force. I mean, but we got to make room. It's kind of cluttered right there. We got to make room for that medal. We got to medal, and not just any medal, Rich. We're not done with the journey. We're not done with the dream. You know, when that national anthem hits and everybody's on step 1 and step 2, and you're on that tall step and you're putting your head down so they can put that medal around your neck. How many times have you visioned it? How many times have you seen that take place?
I do it at least nightly, every night, you know, every time I have like some struggles or something goes wrong in camp, something goes just a little haywire, I resort back to that. I resort back to what I'm doing here. What is my true goal? And I was in San Diego, and I'd have a nightly ice bath, and not everybody would do that ice bath with me because it kind of sucked. But
yeah, the recovery bath.
Yeah, and you sit there, and sometimes when you're by yourself, you look up at the sky, and you're like, I'm here for a reason, man. And I truly feel like this is my reason. I'm here to win. I'm here to do my thing. I'm here to show that, everything that not only I sacrificed, and my parents have sacrificed, and my community has sacrificed for me is for a reason, and this is that reason. And I'm here to follow through with it.
Richard, senior, I'm gonna say this. I said this to one of our champions the other day. I said this to Jose Ramirez, and I've said the story over and over again. We met him at the airport when he won his first belt, the WBC belt. And one thing I did say, and I wasn't just saying it, I embraced it with him. And I told him, I said, Jose, you're not just the champion of the world. You're our champion. You're our voice piece. You're the words that we don't get to say. You're the platform that we don't get to move on. And Richard, I'm going to say this to you. You're not just an Olympian. You're our Olympian. You represent us, all of us that watch you and that are going to be hoping for you. And I'm not telling you this to put pressure. It's just putting some fire and motivation to continue that motivation. And when you said you looked up that there was no one around and you told yourself, this is what I'm here for? Hey, you didn't pick up the phone and say, hey, Dad, you made a decision. And those are the decisions that your dad is talking about, on the ones that you need to make already, that it's already made up before you even make the phone call, because you decided mentally, physically, and spiritually, I'm stepping forward and I'm going to continue to move forward towards my journey.
100%.
You know, I want to ask you this, Rich. There had to be somebody when you started off boxing that motivated you. I mean, let the viewers, the fans, and the followers, I mean, who did you watch? Who did you enjoy watching in the ring?
I mean, it sounds cliche a little bit, but honestly, the first boxing thing I remembered ever, because I would go to the gym and just mess around when I was like real little, like 4 or 5. And my dad was sparring, actually. My dad was sparring one of our other guys. And I just walk in and I kind of watch just for a little bit, because I have a real small attention span at that point. I look up, my dad slips a punch, throws a body shot, drops this guy. And I mean, he's dropped for like minutes. And for some reason, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I thought that was the bee's knees. I thought that was insane on what, like, just the beauty behind that shot, the slip counter, come back with a shot. I was like, I want to do that. I want to be like that guy. I want to be just like him. And I mean, that's really was it. I loved watching my dad spar when I was real little. Coming more into a little bit, I like guys like Keyshawn Davis. I like watching him fight a lot, if I'm being 100% honest.
Yeah.
I like Lomachenko, how he fights. Troy Isley, I love how he fights. Freddie Ross. I mean, all the guys that I train with, I see how they fight. I see what they can do, and it's amazing. And being able to watch it in person is a totally different thing than watching it on TV. I mean, it sucks to say, but it really is. Like, sometimes I'll watch that sparring and I'll see how they actually throw it. I'll see like close up how they slip. I want to do that, man. I want to be just like that. So I'd say not really the people that like the all-time greats like Ali and them. Those guys are perfect, but the people that inspired me are right next to me.
When you say that, hey, I want to do that, I want to do this, that means you're allowing yourself to continue to learn. You're allowing yourself to continue to grow, as if to say, oh, I don't need to do that, or I already got it down, I can do that. But when you say, I want to do that, you're opening yourself up for growth. And that's a good thing. That means you're very coachable and that you're a sponge, man. And that's how you're going to be successful.
I try to be, yeah, because I'm not gonna lie. I see some of these guys fight, and some of the things they do are super impressive, and it doesn't have to be the entire style, but little things are just, it's amazing, the sweet science.
And absolutely. Richard, tell us about some of those sparring sessions, man. I mean, did you know your son was watching, or were you just, hey, that's just you? Because I heard you're a badass. I asked around, and I also had a great conversation with Raul Marquez, and he said, oh yeah. He goes, yeah, he's who he says he is.
Once you get in that ring, it's you become a different animal. My dad used to tell stories about him doing it, and he turned into a Jekyll and Hyde. You just transform. I remember one time sparring, and my wife didn't even know I boxed, and we finally started going to the gym a little bit, and some guy came to the ring and said, hey, I want to spar you. I go, no, I don't spar. I don't spar no more. He goes, oh, come on. He just kept on pushing and pushing. And then finally, I agreed to it. And I said, we're just working, right? He goes, yeah. And, famous last words. And he just nailed me in the nose, made me bloody. And like, what the heck was that? Man, it's on. Boom. It just switched. And boom, 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 boom. And they went to the end of the round and stuff. And I'm in the corner and I'm bouncing. I'm like, okay, let's go. Come on, we're ready. And he said, no, I don't want no more. But you stay focused, because I didn't know my boy was watching. I didn't know and is watching stuff. You get so focused in there. Sometimes you don't hear anything. You just hear a buzz. You hear, because you're so focused on what that is. I'm sure in the fights, you
that's
get
that tunnel vision.
Dr. Jose and stuff. Did you hear me yell? No, I didn't hear you yell. Sorry, I was getting hit in the face, or I was hitting somebody. I didn't hear you yell, but thank you for being there. I feel your presence, things like that. One person you can hear, though, you can hear your coach, you can hear your corner, because that's how you train your mind to pick that out of all the voices.
That certain voice where you just block out everybody and you hear that voice. We had Fernando Vargas on the show, I would say about maybe 2 months ago, and he said, Richard, I would hear Mr. Garcia give me instruction, but I would always hear my wife's voice, no matter if I was up against the ropes or I had my opponent up against the ropes. I would constantly only hear her voice. So when you say that, that's been confirmed. I mean, there's a certain voice that you recognize, and your brain tells you the rest of your body, okay, you're listening to this, and these are the instructions, or these are the cheers that you're used to and comfortable with.
Yep, exactly.
Richard, I'm going to ask you a tough question, okay? I mean, and these are the questions that other people think about, but they're afraid to ask. They don't want to go there. I'm going to ask you this tough question because you're a big boy now. When dad gives you instructions, but coach gives you instructions, and they're not the same instructions, how does Richard Torrez Jr. deal with those instructions?
That has been like a tough challenge, honestly, is the coaching side and the dad side, and it is hard to talk about. Not a lot of people talk about it, but the creating that separation between, hey, this is your coach talking and this is your dad talking. If it's Coach Torres, if it's my coach talking, follow it 100%. Like no matter what, it's going down and that's happening. I feel more along the lines of it's dad talking, I have a little room to ask why or something like that. I have some separation to be like, hey, look back. I'm still trying to grow and do this stuff too. And there's some sometimes there's some arguments there with the dad side, but I mean at the end of the day, I follow what my dad says. On either side of the thing, it was my dad, my coach, my boss. He's been all of them, and I do see some of the things that he's told me to do work out now. I remember the one time I really didn't listen to him. We were at the boxing club and some homeless guy had knocked over a trash can. And note, this trash can hadn't been cleaned in like years. I mean, we're talking years. Like it was disgusting, horrible. And my dad said, "Go pick that up." I was like, "Pops, I'm not picking that up. I'm not picking that up." And then my dad was like, "You gotta pick it up. Someone has to pick it up." It's like, "Pops, I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm gonna do." And I sits there. He goes, "Okay." He gets out and he does it himself. I'm like, oh man, and it kind of makes me realize like there's meaning behind it. If I don't do something, if I don't train hard enough, and I don't do what I need to do, someone else is gonna do it. Someone else is gonna take that spot. I didn't pick up the trash. I didn't do my work that day. My dad started to do that, and that kind of opened me up to be like, I got to follow what he says as a coach and a dad. And that was one of the moments that changed, and I started really listening.
That's a great illustration. That is an awesome story. It really is, because father-son relationships, they've been asked to pick up their own garbage cans. It may not be exactly a garbage can. It can be a book. It can be a chore. It can just be something that your dad asked you to do. And yet he's not willing. Here's the moral of this. He's not willing to, he's not going to ask you something that he's not willing to do his damn self. So just know that. I'm glad you learned from it. And that's something that when your time comes, you're going to pass that down to the third Rich.
Hey, Rich,
when that time comes.
I want to just comment on that also and stuff.
Sure.
It's kind of a fatherly thing. You know what? I never asked my son to do something I didn't do or didn't put my heart into. I didn't ask him, let me go run 10 miles and not give up. Don't let me have it, I ran 10 miles. I didn't give up. I know what that feeling is like. I know what it is to get punched in the face and get dropped. I know what it is to go without eating for a couple of days to try to make weight. I know what it is to push back the table and not eat. I know what it is not to go out on a date because something else is, you got a fight coming up. I know all those sacrifices to be made and stuff. And I never asked my son to do something I didn't do. And when I did, it was something that is a negotiation. He's a young man. All the time, always negotiating. Hey, well, how about this? Can we do this? And there were times I told him, this is what you need to do, because I understood the outcome. I understand what the goal was. But, as he got older, things became more of a negotiation more than just do it because I said it, because, he's a big guy.
He's a big guy with a big left, too. Hey, okay, I'm glad you brought that up because we're gonna move on because I want to touch on some of these events that are going to take place and have happened. Hey, as father and son got in there, and I'm not talking about holding the mitts, Dad. I'm talking about lacing them up, son, and it just or just some movement.
You know what? As
I see
a
Rich
trainer,
smiling right now. I mean, I see Junior smiling right now.
as a trainer, you always want to say, there's a couple things you don't do as a trainer. Don't get in the ring with your fighter, because either you beat them up and you're a bully, or you get beat up and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay. So that's one thing. So, but sometimes my boy would come home and stuff and he said, "Hey, Pops, put on a glove and throw at me, throw at me." So, okay. So we're sitting there and then, so I start throwing and so little energy, little, that salivation comes in. You start, okay, get that little rhythm going and
Yeah.
pop, start catching. And then get him one time. He's like, hey, look what you did and stuff. So we did it again the next time and stuff. And he started throwing. I go, well, you can throw a little bit and stuff. And classic. And my weak spot is ducking into an uppercut, and he just pop, and then busted my lip. I was like, oh man, felt like old times and stuff. But in general, we don't get in there. Different size. I don't throw at him hard. I just make sure to kind of give him that feeling of the wind passing by his ears and stuff. But we never got in there because it's just something you don't do, because like I said, you either are a bully or you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Rich, do you remember that experience? What was it like just moving around? I'm sure that wasn't your intent to land a punch or to have a punch landed. Well, what was the experience like just father standing in front of you before the punches started getting dropped?
I mean, I know when we were doing that stuff, it was kind of just like feeling it out. I do remember, however, when I was a little younger and I was kind of testy, like around like 13, I would throw some shots and I'd like dug my hands and I'd drop my hands and I'd wait for him to like throw on the mitts, like he'd be on the mitts. Yeah. And I did that one time, pop, and I dropped my hands because I thought I could slip it with nothing happening. And my dad went pop, just boom, just cut me. And I was like, not like a hard cut, but like scrape me and everything like that. I was like, oh, and he just goes, "Don't tell your mom." And then he went back to the pit.
Smart man. That's a smart man right there. That's what I would have said. That's exactly what I would have said.
Don't tell your mom. No.
Don't tell your mom. But one thing we are going to tell mom is Richard Torrez Jr. is representing Team USA, the United States of America. Man, dang! I mean, that's awesome.
It's amazing. It's just simply amazing that anybody you talk to, and pro, amateur, everybody, you say, oh, I'm a Golden Glove champ and this and stuff, but you want people to back up and say, wow. He says, I'm an Olympian.
An Olympian.
Anybody who has has stepped in that ring, has any experience, been to nationals, international. When you tell them you're an Olympian, like, you get that respect, because that's something quite an accomplishment.
Talk about respect. Your name was brought up last week by Jose Ramirez, because we were talking about some of the talent pool, and he said, yeah, you have this kid, Richard Torrez Jr. So he knows who you are. He acknowledges the talent that you have. He doesn't know now. I mean, I'm sure now today he knows that you're an Olympian, but I always say iron sharpens iron, and that's one guy that somewhere down the line you may hey, pick his brain a little bit, because he's been on that big stage that you're getting ready to go to, and now he's a world champion. I want to ask you this. A week from this Saturday, Jose Ramirez is going to be in the toughest fight of his life, bar none, period. Rich, I don't know if you know this. He is going to be the underdog. I mean, the odds keep switching from 2-1 to 3-1. And we're talking about Jose Ramirez, who's undefeated. He's an Olympian, a unified champion. And yet he's going into this fight not expected to be victorious. Yet he's putting everything on the line, and he dares himself to be great. When you see people like that in front of you, today's world, how does that make you feel as an athlete to know this man is going in without a shadow of a doubt, and he's going to defy the odds?
I think that's what makes a true champion. I really do. I think that mindset, that mentality, it really is like one of a kind. You need to be a champion to have that mindset. And I mean, it's amazing because he's the champ. So he could pick any fight he really wants to. He could lowball a different guy. You could try to get out of that and to say, no, I'm here and I want to be the best. It's amazing to see, you know, and I'm, you know, full support behind him. I got full faith in him. If it was my odds, it'd be 1,000-0, you know, because I mean, he's my guy too. I remember my barber, he actually went in, he played in the band for one of Jose's things, or a party that he was attending. And the barber went to me, he goes, this guy, I was taking pictures with, like, all these people were taking pictures with the guy, and I don't know what his name was, Jose Ramirez, Jose something. I was like, Jose Ramirez? And he goes, yeah, that's his name. I was like, that's a bad man. I was like, nah, you should have got your picture taken. That was a bad man right there. And I mean, my word stands true today. He's a bad man, and I can't wait to watch that fight.
You know, we're going to move on because I'm gonna test your dad's brain skills here on some of this fight and some of the strategies that are needed to be successful. But before we do that, I'm going to give you the platform right now, Rich, because Jose's watching this. What do you want to wish him a week from this Saturday when he enters the ring against another undefeated opponent, against another Olympian, against another unified champion? This is champion versus champion. The winner goes home with all the belts, and they're the unified champion of the world. And for Jose, it would be the first Hispanic undefeated champion in his division, in any division. He has a chance to make history here. What are your words of I don't want to say wisdom. What are you, and I don't believe in luck. What are your words? What are your best wishes for him?
Man, I hope that you go out and perform. You know, that's the one thing that all my coaches have told me that I love hearing too, is it doesn't matter what the other guy does. It doesn't matter what goes on there. If you perform to the best of your ability, that's all you can count for. That's all you can ask for. And that counts adapting and everything like that. But I mean, he's the champ. You know, he knows how to do everything. He knows what he has to do. He has the strength. He has the power, the speed to do it. And I wish you luck, and I wish you that you have that good day that day too. So, you know, just perform.
There you go. I'm going to make sure I take that clip and I send it to him, Rich. Now, Dad, I'm going to take your expertise right here. Okay. First of all, we're going to break down the fight. You know, we're going to save Jose for last. What are the keys to victory? What does Josh Taylor need to do to come home victorious that night?
You know what? In Josh Taylor, I don't know if he can do very much more than what he does this style. You know, he's in your face. He is punching. He's belly shots. He is working. He wears you down. You know, he stays in your chest, and he's pounding you. Okay, he keeps catching these guys. Seeing that, yeah, you know, he just continue to do what he does. You know, he fights a war of attrition. You know, he's going to see who gives up first and give that. You know, Jose's going to be smart like he always is. Jose's a very talented fighter and smart, and he's going to come in and he's going to push that envelope, pull back, step over, push that envelope, pull back, step over, and stuff. And that's going to give Taylor a little trouble because he wants to lean into you. He wants to push on you. He wants to put their head on you and start banging that belly and stuff. So Jose's going to come in, pop, pop, pop. When he starts feeling that pressure, step over, pop, 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 catch from the side. And he's going to be able to outbox this guy and stuff and make sure he doesn't get caught with any wild hooks. When he's coming off the side, he's got a jabs, come over, under, boom, 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 step over again, give a little distance. So the Taylor has to come in at him and work to get in on him and stuff. By giving him angles, he creates more distance, and Taylor's going to have to suck it up and going to get caught coming in.
There it is right there. And when you hear that, Rich, and that's your dad talking, he just broke it down. People get paid for that kind of stuff. We got it for free today on The Fighter's Voice. When you hear that, how does that make you feel, Rich?
I mean, that's what I hear every day. You know, I watch that all the time. I listen to him. It's funny because I know when he's going to talk to me. I know when he's going to say things. I know what's going through his mind when he's saying it too. You know, just being coached by him all my life. It was funny. He went to a pro MMA fight. And he was talking to some of the guys, and I was watching the video, and I knew that he was gonna say right when the guy comes out, he's gonna start talking to him again, explaining like what he needs to do to the guy. But the guy had never been coached by my dad before, and he kind of turns away and like tries to get like all in the crowd and everything like that. And I'm like, yo, those are the pivotal moments, you know. So it's amazing being coached by my dad, and I love being coached by my dad, and it's a rhythm that we have together.
You know, when he's explaining it, he visualizes it. He sees it. Everything's moving. I mean, those angles are moving. When he's saying, hey, pivot, the angles, apply pressure. He sees all those different scenarios. So for anybody just to say it, it doesn't hold as much as water as your dad's. Now, don't get me wrong, I can say it because I didn't just wake up and want to do this, but this isn't my show. This is your show right now. I will tell you something funny though. This is for you, Senior. I was talking to a boxer, and he finally got up and he says, "You know what, bro? You never even been in a professional ring. What the hell are you talking about?" And I said, "There's where you're wrong, sir." I said, "Because I introduced you on your first professional fight. So don't say I didn't get in there. I was the ring announcer. I never said I had the gloves on." So then he goes, "Oh, that's right, you did. Oh, Spencer, bro, my bad." And then, yeah, so, hey, iron sharpens iron in any shape or form, man. You just got to be positive and turn something negative into something positive. I truly believe that. And, we need to do more of that. Being that said, I know you watched the press conference after the Canelo fight and hear those different sound bites. Now, let me ask you this. Were you amazed at the cuss words that were flying out? One, or two, how well Canelo talks English?
Talked very well. He did a great job, and he threw me off. And he was, wow. I think he was just playing possum, not talking English.
I think so.
Man, because I was like, wow. I mean, those are coming out pretty good cuss words, man. Yeah. But I don't like the idea. Boxers aren't thugs, all thugs. Boxers aren't all cretins that cuss, drink, beat women, things like that. That sometimes they get tagged with and stuff. And I don't appreciate it. I know the emotions got to him and stuff, but maybe he shouldn't have cussed so much and stuff. Because I mean, so I can tell this kid right here. I says, my boy says, hey, I tell people, I says, I want you to become the heavyweight champion, the kind of champion that the fathers want their daughters to marry or go out with.
There you go.
So just bringing back that limelight of boxing that used to be in the 50s and 60s. That's because we didn't have a bunch of radio and stuff to tell us how they really were. But it was that era people were kind of a glamorous and kind of glorified era of the boxing.
Rich, I know what you're thinking right now. I'm looking at your bubble. You're saying, "Dad, I already am."
Yeah, what was impressive to me was it was released like a week before the press conference. But did you say the interview when he would show off his house and everything like that?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, man! Like he has oh, this is just one of my mansions, and it kind of puts in perspective. Like, wow, there's still some guys out here that are raking it in. Boxing's still like one of those top sports, man, and it's like that was amazing for me to see too. Like that was what I was really impressed with is how getting that mansion.
I'm going to say this, okay? If not, I'm going to be thinking it and say I should have said this. And this is what I've been telling everybody. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I've been telling everybody, hey, if this kid medals, he's going to become a millionaire before his first fight, just by the signing bonus. Now, I'm not saying that some money can motivate you. I'm just hey, man, I want you to come home with the best medal out there and leave it all in the ring. Because like I said, like what I told Jose, you're our champion. Well, you know what, Richard? You're our Olympian. You're our hope out there. You're our dream. You're everything wrapped in one.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing for me is I've grown up in Tulare, and on one of our main streets in downtown Tulare, there's an Olympic gold. It says Olympic gold, and it has Bob Mathias and Sim Innes, right? Pop. And I want to be on that. I want to be on that poster, man. I want to be on that painting. I want to be on that mural. That's one thing that drives me too. I've seen that every day, and I was like, I want to be there. I want to be there one day. I want to be there with me and my dad, and with the gold medal around her neck. I hope so.
Well, vision it, man. It'll take place, man. The more in the harder you work, and Dad's gonna have his own fights in his hands. I mean, because he's going to have Top Rank coming after him, PVC, Matchroom, and he's going to have all that stuff. And those are all good things to happen. That's in the future. Don't even worry. Your dad has it. He'll take care of that. He's already visioned it plenty of times. When these guys try to hand you an envelope, hey, talk to my pops. That's all you got to say. Enough said. They'll drop it, and yeah. So I'm preaching to the choir here. And Dad's already saying, oh, we got this, bro. Don't stick to the show. So I'm letting you know, Rich, because I do think about stuff like that, and I know that is going to be a good concern for you to have. But the main thing is, man, just make sure that neck is strong enough so when you got to bow down and when they put it around your neck, man. I was even thinking today when I was getting ready for the show, I was thinking, shoot, I'm going to Tokyo, man. I would love to go down there and cover that. And that was gonna be my next question, Richard. Are you and the wife going down there? Are you going to attempt to make any of the fights and try to get down there?
You know what? Unfortunately, what we're being told in the news is that they're not allowing any foreigners to be spectators. So we got our fingers crossed that something might open up and something might happen. You know, we got vaccinated, we got all the things we needed to do in order to make sure that happened. So that being the case, you know, I might be at home watching it on TV like everybody else, but you know, I got the money in the bank. I got, you know, tickets ready. I got everything's ready to go. We had all those things set up for Argentina for the qualifiers. We had it all ready and lined up for Japan, knowing where we're going to stay in the Olympic Village, and boom, just blew up. You know, so you know, the heart's there and our wills wanting to go, but we'll see what you know the government says about letting people in from foreign countries.
You know, I know you're going to be tuned in, my man. I know you're going to be locked, loaded, and just slipping those punches with them, giving out instructions from the TV. I mean, from the living room. And Rich, when that first fight happens, do you think it's going to be any different for you than all the big tournaments that you because you've been all over the world. You're worldwide. I mean, you've been all over the world. Is this any different, or is this for all the marbles? Is like, okay, I'm going to give everything that I got. Not that you never do, that you never give it all, your all, but there's something that's been reserved and waiting just to explode.
If I'm being 100% honest,
Yes.
I think this is gonna be close to my other fights. Like it's gonna be I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna fight like I do in every other fight, and that is my all. You know, when every time I go in that ring, I do really give my all. I don't have a reserve. I don't have something I've been holding back for. You know, and I feel like that's actually prepared me better. You know, it's like I have given my all in every fight I've been in, and so when I do, it so this is just like another day. This is just another day at the office. You know, and I think that kind of gives me a little little reassurance, because it's like I have been in this spot before. You know, it's a bigger stage, it's a bigger arena, maybe more cameras, but I've pushed myself to the limit, and I know where I can take myself. I know how far I can go, and I can go farther than most other people.
You know what I'm excited about? That's very strong words, and that's very mature. You know what I'm looking forward to? I want to see those badass jumpsuits, man, that say Team USA in the back, and just the bags, the hats, and all the bells and whistles that come with it. That's what I want to see.
I'm so excited. So Under Armour is giving us another bag just for an Olympic bag. Nike is giving us a suitcase. Polo is giving us a suitcase.
Nice.
At the Village, there's gonna be like different booths and stuff like that where you go and
Polo, like polo, like what, like Ralph Lauren polo?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Man, that's what I'm talking about.
And then they said it's not just like a bag, it's a suitcase, and we're getting like 3 different suitcases.
Nice.
And man, I am excited. You know, I've seen USA jackets before. I put on my dad's USA jacket before. I have my own USA jackets, but an Olympic jacket, man, I'm excited.
You know what? When we did a documentary with Jose Ramirez, I'd say about maybe 5 years ago, when he was still with Freddie Roach, and he showed me all his clothes in the closet. Of course, he showed me his cowboy jerseys. That's what time it is. But he had his Olympic outfit there with all the rest of the nice clothes there. And when he's showing me and he's holding it in his hand and he's talking to me, you can see that light go on again. You can see that excitement all over his body, all over his demeanor. It meant something to him. And the excitement I see from you just now, I know you're going to leave it all in the ring, and I know you're going to be victorious, and you're going to have that day is going to be your day. Every single day that you compete is going to be your day.
Appreciate that. Yeah, 100%. Thank you.
Dad, when he gets on that plane and he leaves, all these emotions are going to be running. Everything's going to be spinning. Did I tell him this? Okay, don't forget to keep your hands up. Don't forget. That is going to be one of the proudest moments of your life, my man. I don't even know if you're going to be able to walk. You're going to be walking on muscle memory, my man.
Yeah, it's going to be great. You know, there's that angst that you have because I'm not going, you know, because I mean, we've gone through this journey all along and stuff, and I've been in that corner 99% of the times, always in there and stuff. And I'm saying, you should do this. I'm thinking to myself, and Coach Billy and USA team, they're great. They're real communicative to me, and they listen what I say. They ask me questions, I ask them questions. So it's a great relationship and stuff, and they're not taking anything away from them. Just that, I know when he moves, I know when he's hurt, I know exactly what's going on before it happens, until like he knows me, and I can, oh shit, I look at him, oh shit, man, got nailed, or get slow down, relax, because I already know what's gonna be next and stuff. But it's just gonna be a little angst because I won't be able to get on the plane with them. But man, this pride's overflowing now. I'm walking through the place, and
Absolutely.
I don't go around saying, hey, my boy's Olympian one, but I walk around looking, yeah, they know my boy's an Olympian.
That's right.
That's right.
Right.
But it's just a great feeling and stuff, even though people may not know that, or they're not saying that. That's what I feel they're saying.
Is it hard to sleep at night, Rich? Or are you just full of dreams constantly?
Honestly, no, honestly, like I said, I put in I wrote it down for the USA boxing guy that said, my future must think that I'm asleep right now because I'm currently living the dream. It's
Very well
what's
said.
going on, I'm living it right now, so I don't know when I'm sleeping, I don't know when I'm awake, because it all feels the same.
Richard, how was that was it hard to really just go to sleep that night from the excitement, knowing, okay, this is what's taking place? Or was it more of a relief, like now we can breathe, now we can rest, because he has a journey ahead of him?
It's more a relief. It's kind of after a long run. It's kind of after, not eating for several a day or so, and then you get in that last meal, you're getting that drink of water. It's just that satisfaction. You're sitting back and says, yeah, and then you're able to relax and rest, because it's in motion now, and what you set out to accomplish is being accomplished.
Exactly. And I know when he competes, you're going to let the masses know, because we're going to share it here, and we're going to be giving updates here on the Fighter's Voice. But I know oh, bless you. I know there's going to be some shirts, and I'm not talking about Olympic shirts. Those are all for junior. But I know mom and dad are going to make some, like, hey, let's support our Olympian, let's support our champion, let's support our gold medalist. When those shirts come, I'm not asking for one because I want to be part of the support team. Let us know. And I definitely want to give some out on the show, so we have those supporters there.
Cool. And we do and stuff. I have a good friend of mine, and consider him one of my brothers, grew up with them and stuff, Stan Felton. He's going to create, he recreated for 2020, then got pushed back, but it's Torrez to Tokyo.
I love it.
Now and stuff, and we're going to have those shirts made, and he's going to be putting it out there and help support the family, help support the cause.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a great feeling. And I don't want to be mean to anybody, and I haven't told my wife this at all, but when the fights come on, I'm not a one that like to have a lot of people around. I don't want you to ask me what's going on. I don't want you to talk to me. I want to be in the corner, and in my mind, I want to be there. I want to see what's going on. I want to analyze it, and especially during the breaks, I want to hear what the coach is saying. I want to see what he's saying. So be quiet. So I'm going to be there watching the fight. I'll probably be by myself because I don't want nobody else around. I want to be able to see it.
I'm going to take the soundbite right now. I want to play this for my girl. Because when I ring announce, I want to be left alone. Don't talk to me. Don't come around me. And any message I get is not good news. Yep. If it's a text right before the event, an hour, it's not good news. Or are you going to ask me something that I went over days before so I could be left alone right now? And people will ask me, hey, Richard, who's he going to fight next? And I feel like telling them, well, if you be quiet, I can hear what they're saying. They're interviewing the man himself. Yep. All the answers are right there. Those are the key moments. Those are the key elements on boxing, the sweet science. That's how you find out what's going on, those little key movements. And we're going to talk about that, Richard. I want your expertise once again on both of you guys. And I'm going to ask you too, Richard, because you are the participant, you are the fighter. And I'm going to reflect back again with Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor. What is it that each fighter is looking for in the other fighter? Because they're about to be sized up for the very first time come next week. Is it body language? Is it fluid? Is it maybe the mouth is dry? What is it another fighter is looking for to get that edge? I'll start with you first, Senior.
You know what? I don't think they're looking for anything. I think they're going to impose their will on them. Because I think to this point, you know that the guy who's standing in front of you at this level has something. He has a set of cojones that he's going to be there. He's going to fight. He's not going to give up. They've seen each other fight. They studied their fights and stuff. And there's like, they're going to say, what they're going to do is they're going to impose their will, and they're going to think my shit is better than theirs. I'm going to take him out. I'm going to push him so hard that he crumbles because I am that man. Okay. So, but I don't think they're looking for, potentially they could say, but do you see how he kind of looked away? And that's just kind of frosting on the cake. Like, oh, it makes me feel better. It kind of helps to psych myself out. But these guys are been through the ring a lot of times. They step through those ropes a lot. And they know exactly what they need to do. And so they got to impose their will, and they got to be tougher, harder, stronger, smarter than the other person on the other side of the ring that day.
Richard, listening to that, what's your take on this? Because you're a participant, because you go in the ring a lot and you look at your opponent. You get to see him and visualize him, and I know size him up and maybe look at his feet, his knuckles, his body language. Do you take anything off that, or you just show up and impose your will like your father was talking about?
So the big moment where we get to size up, I don't really do that too much in the ring because it's like, all right, this is my guy, But is it the weigh-ins? That like when you go to international weigh-ins, ton of people there. And then what I'll do is I'll go around and I'll look at all the tallest people. And I know that those are usually my guys, the tallest, biggest guys. And it's like, this is a big dude. All right, man, let's do it. And then finally you just get in your mindset like, we're doing this. It's like we're turning the step. And it's not really what I look for in him. Sometimes I do. Sometimes when it's like a real big, stocky dude and like real super buff, I'm like, oh, he's going to be slow. He's going to try to hit me hard. He's going to try to do this. But like my dad was saying, they've seen each other fight. They know what they're going to do. And they're just ready for it. It's a little different when it's the amateur division, and like I go and I've never seen a guy before in my life, and it's like, all right, I'm fighting him in 2 hours, But yeah, I think the pro's a different game, and my dad has it right.
I think so too. I wanted to take from both of you. Richard, I'm going to give you the platform right now. Jose Ramirez is watching this. What advice do you offer him going into this big fight?
You know what? You just got to be smart. I worked this corner. I don't know if he remembers and stuff, but when he was with Avenal, with Armando and stuff, and I held a bucket a couple of times and stuff and watched what he did and stuff. He's a great fighter. He just got to be smart and fight his fight. If he can fight his fight and not be taken off that game plan, he's unbeatable. What happens if you get taken off the game plan? You get caught. You get caught with the belly shot, you get caught with something and stuff. You just got to be able to refocus and bring it back to the center to stay on that game plan and stuff. You know what? That for me, and I'm not his coach and stuff, but just seeing what I would do, he's got to get that little rhythm. In, breathe, step, in, breathe, step out a little bit. So because Josh just keeps coming forward, man, and he wants to come in. So when he steps in, once again, he's gonna come in, bully him, push him. Jose could do the same, push, bully him, step over to the side, make sure he's getting underneath because somebody's coming at him. Because Josh likes throwing the hooks, man, he likes throwing all those things. And just come in there and just catch him, pop, 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 step out and let Josh come in and let Josh walk into something.
I can see it happening, my man. I really can. I appreciate those words. And, I want to thank both you guys, because your dad could have easily, if he hasn't already, called Channel 24, called Channel 26, called Channel 30, 47. And who does not want this exclusive with Richard Torrez Jr., our Olympian? And not only that, I tagged Mark Krego of ESPN. So he's going to be in tune. Also, my dude from Showtime. All these guys are going to be wanting to get your story, because no offense to the lightweights, the welterweights, or the lower weights, but there's nothing like that heavyweight when it comes to the championship of the world or Olympic status.
Yeah, hey, Rick, just let you know, Rich, that when we found out and stuff, one of my first things my boy says, "Hey, you got to call Rich, man."
Yeah, that's the first thing. I mean, I remember it was we started off coming here. You were one of my first interviews going out, and you're like, "Hey, just remember when we do something big, I'm the guy to call."
I remember that. Thank you.
You're the guy to call. I mean, you've been with us ever since like 15, 16, and so it's, I mean, yeah, you're part of the team.
Absolutely, I appreciate that, and you just co-sign that, because I am part of the team. And I'm not part of the team like wearing a shirt and he's part of the team. I am part of the team. I really am. I really do feel that. I really do feel that a piece of me is with you guys, and it's more excitement than anything. Just being proud that, because to hear your father's testimonies when he wasn't sure, to hear him, okay, what we got to do next is one step closer. And Rich, so you would, I don't know if you've had these conversations, but I would have them with your father, and you go, okay, we're one step closer. We're waiting to hear this, and then we got to win this tournament, or we got a seed here and there, and he'll share some with you, but he don't want you to worry about anything. Your dad does all the worrying. He does all the negotiation. He's the one up at night making sure all the pieces are together. He's married to this. No offense to your mama, but he is married to this. He wakes up with it and goes to sleep with it, and he's with it 24/7. And now he can finally breathe, because the rest is in God's hands, and the will and the heart and the strength that he blessed you with, Rich. So knowing that, you're in good hands, my man.
Always. Yeah, I believe that 100%.
Before you take off, man, I do want to try to maybe get a sound bite, or I want to get some footage of him walking into the airport, Rich. So make sure you make contact with me right before they're going to, hey, Rich is going to be leaving next week or something. So I want to take myself and my team, and when he leaves the gates and gets through there, then I'm gonna get a sound bite with you, and we'll create a small documentary, and you sure in the hell know that we'll be there too once he lands. I mean, he comes back to Fresno.
Sounds good. Well, got it. We'll do that.
Rich, one last thing, man. Anything to say to all the fans and the followers? How can they follow you? How can they subscribe to your Instagram, your Twitter? How do we stay in contact with you if someone wants to give you their best wishes?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say that, like I said it in my post, but I really feel that everyone that's influenced me, I mean, even followers, friends, family members, I mean, you guys are a part of me in this journey, like I'm taking a piece of you guys with me, and you guys are who I am today. Like I'm a mixture of every influence I've had with everybody, and I really appreciate everybody's work. You can continue to follow my journey on Instagram at the Richard Torrez. That's THEE Richard Torrez with a Z. I like to say it's easy to remember. And yeah, just keep following the journey, because it's our journey. So thank you.
Senior, I'm going to give you the platform right now, man. I mean, anybody in particular you want to thank, or just or any news, just stay tuned in. It's yours right now.
You know what? We're in between rounds. We're able to take a breath here, but round 2 is coming up. That'll be the Olympic Games. Round 3 will be turning pro and seeing what life has to give us. You know what? We are. I still think that my boy is he's an untapped jewel. You know what I mean? Yeah. His personality, his heart, all those things that are essential for a good human being, a good person. He has those things. So, and I'm thinking a lot of people are missing this boat by not jumping on and being part of it and enjoying it. Some of the promoters, some of the things like that. Despite what you may think, we're not getting a whole bunch of calls. Okay, we got a couple of guys we're talking to that are courting us. He's been courting us, and we love that, and it's very satisfying and stuff, and that is something we enjoy. But people are missing out, and just got to follow him. Follow him and his dog Dempsey, and follow the family and see what we do and how we turn out.
Very well said. Enough said. I will say this. I want to thank everybody that tuned in today. And Tuesday, I don't like to say keep your fingers crossed, because again, I don't believe in luck. Okay, if the cards fall where they may, Tuesday we're going to have the other half of the big fight, and that's Josh Taylor along with his trainer Ben Davison. And I'm not going to ask him Tyson Fury questions or why the fighter didn't get off the stool. It's all about Josh Taylor's time. So that's what we're looking at for this Tuesday. So plan on that happening this Tuesday on the Fighter's Voice. Now, Rich, when you get that spread, I want you to take some pictures and post it, man, especially all that polo gear. I want to see that spread that you got there. And I know your dad's saying, hey, man, there's an XL. Slide it over here, son. I know he's saying that, especially when he sees that crazy gear, man. I can't wait to see the colors and everything, officially, 2021.
Every time he comes home, I get a new wardrobe,
There you go.
He can't pack everything the way he brought it home, so he leaves some stuff home, and I kind of snitch it a little bit and take it and stuff. But I have a great wardrobe in my room.
I bet you do. I bet you do, guys. It's always a pleasure having you guys on. It's a class act. Say hello to your mama, your wife, sir. Last time she came in the studio a couple of times, and very, very warm woman and very embracive woman. I can tell she's the clay in this family. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, man, the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. Even Ali Setback said, he goes, the only voice that matters. And that's coming from Ali Setback himself. Hey, it's our pleasure to come into your living room, your home, or wherever you're at and give the fighter a platform, because it's easy to talk about statistics and about boxers and who's going to win and so forth. And we do have those shows, but there's nothing like getting in depth, in the corazon, in the middle, in the mix of what makes a fighter click. And 100% of the time, it's family. I'm Rich Ortiz, your host of The Fighter's Voice. And as always, it's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie.
What's up, guys? I'm Richard Torrez, the Olympic heavyweight. I'm here at Tulare Athletic Boxing Club, and you're listening to The Fighter's Voice.
Don't miss out. Now you can listen to the Fighter's Voice podcast radio show on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio. New show, new topics, new look, bringing you the latest news. Every fighter has a voice, and so do you. For the hottest and latest in sports and entertainment, exclusive interviews with the biggest names in the sport of boxing and MMA.
I'm Robert Garcia. I'm Jose Ramirez. Hey guys, this is Mikey Garcia, and I'm here with
The Fighter's Voice.